You are listening to Storymakers, the podcast for women who are ready to step into their true identity, live with meaningful purpose, find belonging and connection, grow in leadership, and walk boldly in faith. Here you can uncover the story that you were created to live because you were made for such a time as this. Have you ever known that you wanted to do something for so long that you don't even remember how you know that you need to do it, like you want to do it? I have always seen myself teaching and leading women for almost 30 years. So over the years, I've taught both men and women, young and old, but deep down, it's really the women who matter in my core. I also believe that if I can teach women something, they can go and teach the world, right? Families, kids, husbands, employees, neighborhoods, communities, churches. Like, I take what I teach seriously. Obviously, I don't proclaim to know everything or be perfect in anything, but I try to seek the Lord and follow Him so that I can call others to Him. And it really just comes from this deep core knowing. And I probably have known it for many years, but I think it was there before I knew it. I've had, almost 30 years of loving the people that God brings before me and speaking life into them. Nobody told me to do it or how to do it, and I have not always known how I should be doing it or even had full belief in myself that I was qualified to do it. I just have always known I needed to do it. I am called to it. And I think maybe that's what being called to something sounds like. You don't necessarily hear a voice telling you every detail, laying out every step. You might not know exactly what the voice sounds like. And you may never have a breathing human being stand in front of you saying it to you, But inside, within your soul, you hear the calling and you just know. I think it's possible that all of us have heard some kind of calling at one point or another in our life, but we've either dismissed it, ignored it, suppressed it, shamed it, or maybe even tried it and then gave up. And perhaps that's because we don't believe in ourselves or in the calling or in our capacity and capability. And maybe we just don't believe in the possibility of it. We might think, well, that's not what other people want us to do, so I can't do that. Or we're resistant to the idea of giving ourselves fully to something as important as a calling. I think that our calling is within our soul. It's deep within us first, instead of from the outer world for a reason. Then when the outer world says something, it's like it waters the calling within us. It brings confirmation. It pulls it up and out. I think it's attached to the things that we are originally designed for individually. And maybe something outside of us triggers it, like almost like the sequence of numbers that get pressed on a phone that suddenly make some other phone ring and within a specific place within us, right? It might be a book or a movie about something that wakes us up to hear the ringing, or it might be the longing of somebody near us, the desperation on somebody's face we see that can help open our ears to it. It could be our own lack or our desire that turns our head in just the right way, and that causes us to be able to get in tune to the calling within us. I want you to consider this for yourself. What's been buried inside of your soul that won't go away? Maybe it rose up when you were a child or a teenager or a young adult, and it pops up here or there occasionally, and you don't get it. You don't understand why. But I want you to take into consideration the things that you have thought in the past. Like, I always thought I'd be a counselor, or I used to want to be a police officer or a firewoman. Maybe it's something like I loved dancing more than anything, or swimming more than anything, or woodworking class more than anything back in 7th grade, right? All of these things point to something within you. And none of them mean that you have to go become a famous ballerina or an Olympian or um, a psychologist with, so many letters after your name, or even a first responder. It just means that they were those longings, those ideas that sparked by seeing a firefighter, things like that, they were pointing to something that's already within you. Maybe you're called to be a rescuer, but there's hundreds of ways to do that. Or maybe you're called to be a pastor so that you can counsel and tend to the hearts of lots of people in front of you. Or maybe you're designed with a physical intelligence to create new clothing designs or meet the needs of athletes, right? All of the things that are within you, they point to something and they don't necessarily have to manifest as the one thing that called to you when you were 7 or 18 and like at a movie theater or um, when you hear the sirens run by, right? You also have an imagination God gave you, and He uses it to give you vision. And if you want to be a policewoman, is it like why? Are you called to pursue justice, to be a detective who solves crimes because you're like super solutionary? Are you called to release captives from, who've been imprisoned or, you know, taken? Are you called to just keep people safe right where they're at? Like, there's something about being a police officer that called to you, and that is actually your point B, because being a police officer is just one route you can take to get to that point. Because there's so many other ways you can get to the deeper root. You have to dig for the root of the calling and the purpose of it. And the deepest root of your purpose is your true identity. So it's important you have to spend time and effort figuring that out. Think of your identity like the root system that's intertwined with the soil that it's in. And by the way, it really matters where you're planted. And then the stems that grow up from the roots beneath the soil and then up and through the soil. Um, those are like the purpose. Everything above the soil that grows from the stem or the trunk, that's all the fruit. It's where you find the belonging and the influence and impact and connection and love that stems from your identity and purpose. It's where you affect the garden you're planted in with your beauty, your mission and vision. And it's where you sow either life or death with the seeds that you spread there. I think one of the main reasons people are so miserable, apathetic, and addicted today is because we're just a culture who we don't know who we truly are and what we're really made for. So you can't find hope or fulfillment in daily life if you don't know your true identity and purpose. And it's a systemic problem because if the people you know, your parents, your teachers, all the people don't know who they are, they can't tell you how to find out who you are. And then it all cycles and spins and it becomes a generational curse instead of a blessing. So all the things like planted somewhere, but not with intention, not in the right place, not in good, healthy soil, and or not getting attention, water, and sunlight. So I want you to take time to consider these things for yourself and consider them for your children, your husband, parents, significant others, people you work with. Think about how stepping into your true identity and calling actually impacts them. Like, who would you be and how would you show up if you knew these answers for your own life? Who would you be if you heard the calling and answered it? Who would you wake up as, show up as, and walk like if you had the truth and lived in it and really intentionally leaned into it? And then you can probably give me 100 reasons why you wouldn't pursue it. But I want you to stop and just give me 3 reasons you would. Those 3 reasons you would do something instead of wouldn't, or you could do something instead of couldn't. Those 3 will be your anchor. And I think of it like that 25-foot coiled phone cord that would tie me to the kitchen phone in my house as a kid. And I would stretch it as far as I possibly could down the hall to see if it would reach the toilet or my bedroom. Because I didn't want to have to make my friend hold on. So I was afraid she'd like lose interest and hang up, So everybody has 100 reasons not to do something, but it's the main 1 to 3 reasons that you would do something that really matters and can guide you and carry you through all of the things that all the 100 reasons why you wouldn't. You have to pay attention to these anchor reasons and put them in front of you, write them down, keep them in front of you, make them part of your vision of who you're becoming. I love walking clients through this. I love to get to the root systems. And I think one of my favorite things to do as a coach is really helping people find true identity and purpose. So I've created something called Storymakers Lab. It's an online library of teachings and tools for doing work like this. You can click the link in the show notes, or you can go to sterlingstonementoring.com and just get on the wait list to know when it opens up. It's a library of resources. It's a monthly subscription so that you can just get in there, dig through it, dig into things like your story and your identity, your purpose, your leadership, your belonging, your life in the spirit, right? And there's going to be all kinds of things that you can download, things you can watch, listen to. I'll have guests, like recordings and actual live workshops if you remember. And I think it's one of the most valuable things I can do right now is to create resources that meet you where you're at when you are there, right? Obviously, you can always just book a coaching session, and we can actually get to work on finding out who you truly are and what God says about you, how you are uniquely created, and what you're personally called to do in your life. We can do that together in one-on-one coaching also. I think your identity and your purpose and your belonging I know that they are the three questions every single human being is longing to answer at their core. So it's one of the most important things that you can do if you want to walk in hope and fulfill your purpose and live a truly extraordinary life. So links are in the show notes again. And I believe all things are possible with God for you. And I believe that together, all things are completely figure outable. So you have something within you that is powerful, it's precious, and you deserve to have what you need at your fingertips to be able to access it, equip yourself, and just be released to show the world what you came here to do. Only you can reveal the character and nature of God your Father in the way He created you to do it. Because the world right across the street from you needs you to show up as the authentic you and step into your calling. So I'm with you in it. Love you, friend, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the show so you don't miss any new episodes. And to learn more about me, my work, and how we can connect, visit sterlingandstonementoring.com or check the show notes. And until next time, remember, all things are possible and figure outable.